Question 161. Which device can also be known as a multi-port repeater? A. Bridge. B. Hub. C. Router. D. Switch. Correct answer. B. Hub. A multi-port repeater is a networking device that receives a signal from one port and retransmits it to all other ports without distinguishing the destination address. The primary function of the repeater is to extend the transmission distance within a LAN by amplifying the signal, ensuring it does not weaken over long distances. A hub is a networking device that operates as a multi-port repeater. It receives a signal from one port and broadcasts it to all other ports without regard to the destination address. Question 162. What was the first security protocol for wireless LANs to achieve widespread adoption? A. TKIP. B. WIP. C. WPA. D. WPA2. Correct answer. B. WEP. WEP, Wired Equivalent Privacy, is the first security protocol implemented for wireless networks. Introduced in 1997, this protocol uses the RC4, Rivest Cipher 4, encryption algorithm to protect data and requires sending and receiving devices to use a shared secret key for encryption and decryption. However, WEP has many limitations, including weak security, susceptibility to attacks, and lack of flexibility, making it no longer recommended for use. Question 163. Among the bridging types below, which has never been used on Ethernet local area networks? A. Multiport. B. Source route. C. Store and forward. D. Transparent. Correct answer. B. Source route. Source route bridging was a technique used on token ring networks, in which a routing information field in the packet header identified the network segments the packet should follow to reach its destination. This allowed the source host to control the path that the packet took through the network, which could be useful for optimizing performance or for avoiding congested areas. Store and forward, transparent, and multi-port bridges have all been used on Ethernet networks. Store and forward bridges store the entire packet before forwarding it to the next segment, while transparent bridges only forward the packet header and then forward the rest of the packet if the destination address is on a different segment. Multi-port bridges have multiple ports and can connect multiple segments of a network together. Question 164. Among the following statements about protocol analyzers, which one is inaccurate? A. Protocol analyzers can be a network security risk. B. Some network monitoring products are both analyzers and sniffers. C. To troubleshoot using a protocol analyzer, you must be familiar with the OSI model and the protocols that operate at each of its layers. D. All Windows operating systems include a protocol analyzer. Correct answer. D. All Windows operating systems include a protocol analyzer. Protocol analyzers are tools used to monitor and analyze sniff data packets and protocols transmitted over a network, including header fields created by protocols at various layers of the OSI Open Systems Interconnection model. These tools help network administrators identify issues and optimize network performance. However, they can also be misused for malicious purposes, such as stealing passwords or sensitive information from unencrypted data packets. Question 165. Among the following tools for cable installation, which one is anticipated to have the highest cost? A. A cable certifier. B. A crimper. C. A punchdown tool. D. A wire map tester. Correct answer. A. A cable certifier. Crimpers and punchdown tools are basic tools that cable installers use to connect bulk cables to connectors. They are relatively inexpensive and easy to use. Wire map testers are more complex electronic devices that can test cables for continuity and wiring errors. However, they are still relatively simple compared to cable certifiers. Cable certifiers are the most complex and expensive of the devices listed. They can perform a battery of tests on a cable run, confirm that the cable conforms to the required wiring standards, and maintain records of the testing procedure. This makes them ideal for critical applications where it is important to ensure that the cables are functioning properly. Question 166. Which tools can be used to test the optical loss in a fiber optic cable? A. TDR. B. A tone generator and locator. C. A wire map tester. D. OLTS. Correct answer. D. OLTS. OLTS, Optical Loss Test Set, is a specialized device designed to measure optical loss or attenuation in fiber optic cables. It sends light signals through the optical fiber and measures the amount of light lost during transmission, helping to determine whether the fiber's performance meets required standards. OLTS is commonly used in the installation, testing, and maintenance of fiber optic networks. Question 167. Which layer of the open systems interconnection model is analyzed by a port scanner to identify network vulnerabilities? A. Application. B. Data link. C. Network. D. Transport. Correct answer. D. Transport. Transport layer is the fourth layer in the OSI model. It is responsible for ensuring reliable and efficient data transmission between devices in a network, making sure that data is transferred from an application on the source machine to an application on the destination machine. Port scanner is a tool used to scan the network ports on a system, helping to determine the status of these ports, such as whether they are open, closed, or blocked. The port scanning process primarily operates at the transport layer, layer 4, in the OSI model, because this layer deals with TCP/UDP, Transmission Control Protocol/User Datagram Protocol, Control Protocol/User Datagram Protocol protocols, which use network ports to facilitate communication between devices. Question 168. What tool can administrators use to monitor network traffic and bandwidth utilization? A. Bandwidth speed tester. B. IP scanner. C. NetFlow analyzer. D. Protocol analyzer. Correct answer. C. NetFlow analyzer. NetFlow analyzer is a network traffic management and monitoring tool designed to collect, analyze, and display real-time network traffic data. This tool helps network administrators gain a better understanding of network activities, including the flow of traffic through individual network devices, applications, and the origins of the traffic. It provides valuable insights into network performance, usage patterns, and potential issues, enabling efficient network optimization and troubleshooting. Question 169. Among the provided options, which one is an example of a replay attack? A. An intruder accesses a resource that was accidentally left unsecured by an authorized user. B. An intruder renders a resource previously compromised by another intruder. C. An intruder retransmits captured authentication packets to gain access to a secured resource. D. An intruder uses the same technique that provides access to other resources to penetrate a new resource. Correct answer. C. An intruder retransmits captured authentication packets to gain access to a secured resource. Replay attack is a type of attack in which the attacker records and retransmits legitimate data packets, such as authentication packets, that were previously sent over a network connection. The goal of this attack is to exploit the system's inability to distinguish between legitimate requests and retransmitted ones, allowing the attacker to bypass security mechanisms like authentication. Question 170. What type of technology is employed in high-security installations that require individuals to undergo a retinal scan before gaining access? A. Biometrics. B. Hand geometry. C. Pattern recognition. D. Tamper detection. Correct answer. A. Biometrics. Biometric technology is a method of identifying and authenticating individuals based on physiological traits such as iris patterns, fingerprints, facial features, voice, etc. It is one of the most robust security methods and is increasingly being used across various fields, from protecting personal data and bank accounts to high-level security systems. Question 171. What improvements does SSH offer as a replacement for the Telnet terminal emulator? A. SSH encrypts passwords and data. B. SSH is faster than Telnet. C. SSH is less expensive than Telnet. D. SSH provides graphical terminal emulation. Correct answer. SSH encrypts passwords and data. SSH, Secure Shell, is a network protocol developed to replace insecure protocols like Telnet. It is primarily used to remotely connect to servers or devices over an insecure network and encrypts all data transmitted between the client and the server, ensuring that sensitive information such as passwords and commands is protected from eavesdropping or man-in-the-middle attacks. Question 172. What is the process of confirming whether a user is part of a group that provides access to a specific network resource? A. Access control. B. Accounting. C. Authentication. D. Authorization. Correct answer. D. Authorization. Authorization is a process in the AAA security model. Specifically, 1. Authentication. Verifies the identity of the user. The user must provide login credentials or authenticate, using other methods to prove their identity. 2. Authorization. After the user is authenticated, the system checks their access rights to determine which resources they are allowed to access. 3. Accounting. The system records and monitors the user's activities on the system, including login, logout, and other actions. Question 173. What does it signify if an automated lock on a data center door is configured to fail closed? A. The door continues to function using battery power in the event of an emergency. B. The door locks in the event of an emergency. C. The door remains in its current state in the event of an emergency. D. The door unlocks in the event of an emergency. Correct answer. B. The door locks in the event of an emergency. When an automatic lock on a data center door is configured to fail closed, the door will automatically lock in the event of an emergency. This configuration ensures that the door remains securely locked even in the event of issues such as power loss or system failure. The goal of this setup is to enhance security during critical situations when locking mechanisms may fail or become non-functional, helping to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive areas of the data center. Question 174. What authentication factor is an example of something you know? A. A finger gesture. B. A fingerprint. C. A password. D. A smart card. Correct answer. C. A password. MFA, multi-factor authentication, is a security method that requires users to provide 2 or more different factors to verify their identity before gaining access to a system or account. These factors include something you know. This is a factor the user knows, typically a password, PIN, or the answer to a security question. Something you have. This includes physical devices that the user owns, such as a smart card, an authentication code sent via SMS, or an OTP, one-time password, something you are. This refers to biometric factors, using the user's physical or behavioral characteristics, such as fingerprints, facial recognition, or voice. Question 175. What type of denial of service attack occurs when an attacker physically gains access to a company's data center and destroys its servers with a sledgehammer? A. Amplified. B. Distributed. C. Permanent. D. Reflective. Correct answer. C. Permanent. Permanent denial of service is a type of cyber attack in which the attacker causes irreparable damage to a system by destroying hardware or damaging physical components of the system to the point that they cannot be easily repaired or replaced. PDoS not only disrupts services but also results in long-term, costly damage to the target system. As such, it is a very dangerous form of attack for an organization's infrastructure. Question 176. Which other term is used to describe the switching method referred to as port isolation? A. Frame relay. B. Private VLAN. C. Screened subnet. D. Site-to-site VPN. Correct answer. B. Private VLAN. Port isolation is a security technique in computer networking that helps control access between devices connected to a switch. The goal of port isolation is to prevent direct communication between devices within the same VLAN, enhancing network security and reducing the risk of internal attacks. Private VLAN is the term used to refer to the concept of port isolation. It allows the creation of isolated ports that can only communicate with certain designated ports, such as a gateway or management device, and cannot directly communicate with other ports within the same VLAN. Question 177. Which terminal emulation program was the remote desktop protocol specifically designed to support? A. Citrix WinFrame. B. Telnet. C. Virtual Network Computing. D. Windows Terminal Services. Correct answer. D. Windows Terminal Services. Remote Desktop Protocol is a protocol designed for Windows Terminal Services. It provides a graphical interface that allows users to run applications, access resources, and work on a system remotely over a network. However, this protocol requires a significant amount of bandwidth and can be a target for attacks, especially if it is not configured and secured properly. Question 178. What type of virtual private network connection is best suited for granting clients limited access to your corporate network? A. Extranet. B. Host to host. C. Host to site. D. Site to site. Correct answer. A. Extranet. Extranet is a part of an internal network, intranet, that allows external users, such as partners, customers, or suppliers, to access specific resources. The extranet is designed to securely share a portion of data and resources, enhancing collaboration and communication with external partners while maintaining the security of the internal network. Question 179. What type of attack involves an intruder taking advantage of a Bluetooth connection to steal information from a wireless device, such as a smartphone? A. Blue dogging. B. Blue jacking. C. Blue smurfing. D. Blue snarfing. Correct answer. D. Blue snarfing. Blue snarfing is a type of Bluetooth security attack where an attacker exploits vulnerabilities in a Bluetooth connection to steal data from a wireless device, such as a smartphone or tablet, without the owner's consent. The attacker aims to access sensitive information, including contacts, messages, call history, or even files stored on the victim's device. Question 180. What is the key difference between power distribution units, PDUs, used in data centers and standard power strips, used in offices and homes? A. Larger power input. B. Larger power output. C. More outlets. D. All of the above. Correct answer. A. Larger power input. Power distribution units are devices designed to distribute electrical power to multiple devices in environments such as data centers, server rooms, or areas requiring high power. They are typically installed in rack-mounted cabinets and can supply power to many devices simultaneously. These devices have high power input capacity, usually ranging from 15 amps to 60 amps or more. Power strips are devices used to provide electrical power to individual devices like computers, printers, and other electronic devices in homes or offices. They have a lower power input capacity, typically ranging from 10 amps to 15 amps. Question 181. Which of the following is not considered a first-hop redundancy protocol? A. CARP. B. HSRP. C. RARP. D. VRRP. Correct answer. C. RARP. First-hop redundancy protocol is a set of protocols used to provide availability for the default gateway in a network. These protocols allow one or more devices to function as a single virtual default gateway, ensuring that if the primary device fails, another device can take over without interrupting service. The main protocols in FHRP include Hot Standby Router Protocol, Virtual Router Redundancy Protocol, Gateway Load, Balancing Protocol. Question 182. Which data loss prevention term refers to the risks associated with data while a user is loading it into an application among the provided options? A. Data at rest. B. Data in motion. C. Data in process. D. Data in use. Correct answer. D. Data in use. Data in use is a term that refers to data being actively processed within a system or application, including data that is being loaded into an application, edited, or used by software in real time. This data is vulnerable to risks such as unauthorized access or loss during the processing stage. To protect it, data in use is often encrypted in memory or safeguarded using intrusion detection systems to ensure its integrity. Question 183. What functionality in some routers collects and analyzes network traffic data that is sent or received through a network interface? A. B. NetFlow. C. Netmon. D.
Netstat.
Correct answer. B. NetFlow. NetFlow is a feature present in certain routers and network devices that collects and analyzes network traffic data transmitted or received through a network interface. It allows network administrators to monitor traffic patterns, detect anomalies, and assess network performance by examining the flow of data packets across the network. Question 184. What combination of endpoint devices is typically used in a client-to-site virtual private network connection? A. A workstation and a VPN concentrators. B. A workstation and a server. C. 2 VPN concentrators. D. 2 workstations. Correct answer. A workstation and a VPN concentrator. Client-to-site is a type of VPN connection that allows remote users, such as employees working outside the office, to securely connect to the internal network of a company or organization. The data transmitted over this connection is encrypted, helping to prevent information from being intercepted or monitored. Key components. Workstation. The device used by the user to connect to the company's network via the VPN. VPN concentrator, the connection point for the company's network that manages and consolidates incoming connections from remote devices. Question 185. What term best describes a wireless network configuration that allows clients to authenticate only when their connection signal strength exceeds a certain threshold? A. Geofencing. B. Local authentication. C. Motion detection. D. Port security. Correct answer. A. Geofencing. Geofencing is a technology use of GPS, Global Positioning System, or RFID, radio frequency identification, technology to create a virtual boundary or fence around a specific location. Wireless networks use geofencing technology to create a fence that limits access to the network based on the user's physical location. This system typically uses signal strength thresholds to determine the distance between the user's device and the access point. The user can only access the network when their device is within the required signal strength range. Question 186. What Windows command line tool is responsible for generating the displayed output? A. RP. B. Hostname. C. Netstat. D. Ping. Correct answer. D. Ping. Ping is a command line utility in Windows that generates output that shows details about the connectivity between a host computer and another IP address or domain. Typically, this output includes information about the number of packets sent, received, lost, and the response time of each packet in milliseconds. This information helps to diagnose network connectivity issues by verifying if a host is reachable and measuring response times. Question 187. What type of cable fault increases a twisted pair cable's susceptibility to crosstalk? A. Open. B. Short. C. Split pair. D. Transposed pairs. Correct answer. C. Split pair. Split pair is a fault that occurs when the wires in a twisted pair cable are separated too far beyond the standard design, causing them to no longer remain tightly twisted together. This disruption in the twisting creates an environment more susceptible to crosstalk, interference from adjacent pairs within the same cable, which can increase signal interference and degrade the quality of the connection. Question 188. What is the primary purpose of a port scanner? Summarized in the best way. A. A port scanner accepts a computer name as input and scans the network for the IP address associated with that name. B. A port scanner examines a computer for TCP and UDP endpoints that are accessible from the network. C. A port scanner examines a computer's hardware and compiles a list of the physical ports in the system. D. A port scanner examines a specified range of IP addresses on a network to determine whether they are in use. Correct answer. B. A port scanner examines a computer for TCP and UDP endpoints that are accessible from the network. Port scanning is the process of scanning the ports on a network system to determine whether the TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, and UDP, User Datagram Protocol ports are open. It is commonly performed by network administrators to check security, but it can also be used by attackers to identify potential vulnerabilities in the system. Question 189. Which activity would be considered a form of vulnerability scanning? A. Network mapping. B. Penetration testing. C. Port scanning. D. Remediation. Correct answer. C. Port scanning. Vulnerability scanning is the process of identifying and assessing security vulnerabilities in a computer system or network. Port scanning is a technique used to identify open ports on a computer system. Open ports can be used by attackers to exploit vulnerabilities in the system. Network management is the process of monitoring and maintaining a computer network. It does not involve identifying or assessing security vulnerabilities. Penetration testing is a type of security audit that simulates an attack on a computer system or network. It is used to identify and assess vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers. Question 190. What term is used to refer to a read-only snapshot of a dataset captured at a specific point in time among the options given? A. Differential. B. Hot site. C. Incremental. D. Snapshot. Correct answer. D. Snapshot. A snapshot is a point-in-time copy of a system or data, often used for backup and recovery purposes. When a snapshot is taken, the system records the exact state of the data at that moment, creating a read-only copy that preserves the current data without being affected by future changes. Snapshots are typically used for backup, recovery, or creating a consistent view of the data for purposes such as testing or auditing. Question 191. Which of the following statements about web server logs is not true? A. To analyze web server activity, you typically use an application that interprets the web server log files. B. To interpret web server logs, you use a protocol analyzer. C. Web server logs are typically maintained as text files. D. Web server logs record the IP addresses of all visiting users. Correct answer. B. To interpret web server logs, you use a protocol analyzer. Web server logs are log files created by a web server to record user activity and events related to the operation of the web server. These logs are typically stored in text format and provide detailed information about traffic, issues, and other factors that may impact the performance of the website. Web server logs are usually analyzed using specialized tools or software designed to interpret them, such as weblog analyzers, which help with parsing, processing, and visualizing log data. Question 192. Which of the following terms describes a routing protocol that does not utilize hop counts as a metric for route efficiency? A. Distance vector protocol. B. Edge gateway protocol. C. Interior gateway protocol. D. Link state protocol. Correct answer. D. Link State Protocol. Distance vector protocols assess route efficiency based on hop counts, while link state protocols employ alternative calculations, typically using Dijkstra's algorithm. The terms Interior Gateway Protocol and Edge Gateway Protocol do not pertain to the method of calculating routing efficiency. Question 193. Which feature ensures that packets do not circulate indefinitely among routers in a TCP/IP network? A. Administrative distance. B. Maximum transmission unit. C. Open shortest path first. D. Time to live. Correct answer. D. Time to live. Time to live is a value in the header of an IP packet used to control the packet's lifetime in a TCP/IP network, preventing packets from circulating indefinitely. It is set to an integer value when the packet is created. Each time the packet passes through a router, the TTL value is decremented by 1. If the TTL reaches 0, the packet is discarded, and an error message is sent back to the source device. Question 194. Which of the following IEEE 802.11 wireless LAN standards can operate on both the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz frequencies? A. 802.11 AC. B. 802.11b. C. 802.11g. D. 802.11n. Correct answer. D. 802.11n. IEEE 802.11n is a wireless networking standard developed to improve the speed and performance of wireless LANs. It operates on both the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz frequency bands, with a data transfer rate of up to 600 megabits per second. This standard uses MIMO, multiple input, multiple output technology, which allows the use of multiple antennas to send and receive data, thereby enhancing the speed and range of the network. 802.11n is an ideal choice for modern network environments that require high data transfer speeds and stable connectivity. Question 195. What cabling topology provides the highest level of redundancy by creating the most alternate paths within a network? A. Bus. B. Mesh. C. Ring. D. Star. Correct answer. B. Mesh. IEEE 802.11n is a wireless networking standard developed to improve the speed and performance of wireless LANs. It operates on both the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz frequency bands, with a data transfer rate of up to 600 megabits per second. This standard uses MIMO, multiple input, multiple output technology, which allows the use of multiple antennas to send and receive data, thereby enhancing the speed and range of the network. 802.11n is an ideal choice for modern network environments that require high data transfer speeds and stable connectivity. Question 196. What type of cable is used for thin Ethernet network segments? A. RG58. B. RG8. C. RJ11 and D. RJ45. Correct answer. A. RG58. RG58 is a type of coaxial cable widely used in thin Ethernet networks, particularly in the 10-base-2 standard. Its main characteristics are a small diameter and flexibility, making it easy to install in tight spaces. RG58 cables have an impedance of 50 ohms, making them suitable for transmitting signals in local area networks at low to medium data rates. Question 197. Which tool do cable installers typically employ for connecting bulk cable to wall plates and patch panels? A. A crimper. B. A pigtail. C. A punch-down block tool. D. A splicer. Correct answer. C. A punch-down block tool. A punch-down block tool is a tool used in network installation and telecommunications to connect network cables to wall plates, patch panels, or other equipment. The tool has a long, slender shape similar to a pen, with a slightly curved body that is easy to grip and maneuver. It typically measures about 15 to 20 centimeters in length and 2 to 3 centimeters in width. The tool's head features a sharp cutting blade designed to insert into slots on a punch-down block or patch panel, effectively securing the wires and trimming any excess. Question 198. In the OSI model, what layer uses port numbers to identify the applications that are the source and destination of data packets? A. Application. B. Network. C. Presentation. D. Transport. Correct answer. D. Transport. The transport layer is the fourth layer in the OSI Open Systems Interconnection model, responsible for managing the transmission of data between applications on network devices. It uses port numbers to identify the source and destination applications for data packets, allowing multiple applications on the same device to send and receive data without confusion. Question 199. What type of cable installation sometimes employs a vampire tap? A. Coaxial. B. Multi-mode fiber optic. C. Shielded twisted pair. D. Single-mode fiber optic. Correct answer. A. Coaxial. A vampire tap is a type of connector designed to connect a network device to coaxial cable without cutting or interrupting the signal in the main cable. This device features a metal connector that penetrates the insulation of the coaxial cable. When connected, this connector makes contact with the inner conductor of the cable to transmit signals. This technique saves both cost and installation time, as there's no need to cut the cable or perform complex connections. Vampire taps are commonly used in classic Ethernet networks, such as Thin Ethernet, 10-base-2, and Thick Ethernet, 10-base-5. Question 200. Which mechanism enables administrators to synchronize DNS database information across multiple name servers for fault tolerance and load balancing? A. Iterative query. B. Multi-master replication. C. UDP forwarding. D. Zone transfer. Correct answer. D. Zone transfer. Zone transfer is a mechanism used in the domain name system to synchronize DNS records between a master server and a slave server. This process ensures that all servers have consistent DNS information, providing reliability and consistency in DNS responses. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful for you, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more practice questions and tips.